This is Duke University.
Each quarter, Duke University, CFO Magazine, and some regional partners ask CFOs around the world about their economic outlook. This quarter, more than 1,000 CFOs responded, and we asked them some detailed questions about minimum wage, about corporate taxes, and about their overall views. With respect to minimum wage, we asked very many extensive questions. I encourage you to look online to see the details, but let me try to give you a summary in the context of the U.S. Right now, the U.S. federal minimum wage is $7.25. If that minimum wage were raised to $8.75, most companies say they can reasonably accommodate that without too much difficulty. However, if the minimum wage were increased from $7.25 up to $10, now we're going to see a bit of a tipping point, where more than half of companies say they're going to reduce hiring, either laying off current employees or more so just reducing future hiring in response to a higher $10 minimum wage. Now, they'd accomplish this by implementing some labor-saving technologies, shifting from labor towards robots, if you will, and I'll say more about that in just a second. In addition to reducing employment, higher prices would be passed along to consumers if the minimum wage were to go up. Now, if the minimum wage goes up to $15, now 2/3, 3/4 of companies say they're going to reduce hiring or pass higher prices along to consumers. With respect to shifting from employment from labor to robots, if you will, to machines, some companies have already been implementing labor-saving techniques. So we asked companies, those who've already implemented labor-saving techniques and those that will over the next couple of years, how much will that reduce your hiring needs? And here we learned that companies will be able to hire between 5 and 10% fewer employees because of these labor-saving techniques. So this is a substantial effect on labor, and if the minimum wage goes up, this shift towards machines and away from labor will only accelerate. We asked companies about the U.S. corporate income tax code. About 3/4 of companies said they believe the tax codes in other countries are more favorable to business than the tax code of the U.S. Maybe not surprising, because the U.S. has the highest corporate income tax rate in the world. So, somewhat surprisingly, 1 out of every 8 companies said they've considered reincorporating elsewhere, like in another country, in order to reduce the taxes paid here in the United States. Overall, the economic outlook has improved. Business optimism is up in the U.S., business spending is up in the U.S., even hiring should increase moderately in the U.S. In Asia, it's even better. India has gotten back on track. Asian optimism is up, and hiring, of course, is also up, as is business spending. Europe and Africa, the economies have been sort of weak, but they look like they're kind of bottomed out and are on the way back up. The one region of the world that we're a little concerned about might be Latin America. 5 or 6 quarters ago, Latin America was the most optimistic region in the world. Now they've become the least optimistic, at least the outlook over the next year. Certainly in the long run, prospects are still strong, but over the next year, Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela in particular, look to have a rocky year ahead of them.